Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Feel low, you can still go. Go when you feel slow, you can still go. Go when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. When you feel low, you can still go. Go when you feel slow, you can still go. Go when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the
Okay, able to hear and see me, guys? Yes, no? Okay, let me mute it. Okay. Able to hear and see me? Yes? Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yes, no? Yes, great, great, great. That's really awesome. Okay, 37 are watching. So just now we have started, so I'll wait for some more time. All right, but till then we'll take some questions. Yes, good evening, Mohan. Thanks for joining. I hope you guys are doing extremely good. So this will be our fourth session, right? And in this session, I'll try my best to explain you in depth about Kubernetes. So last three sessions, what we have seen, guys, we have seen the CICD, right? And we have seen Docker, how to build an image. Now we'll be seeing how that image is getting converted into a container and then into a pod, and how you actually write the manifest files, right? No slides, do practical with in-depth explanation. Ahmed, this is a bootcamp, guys, first of all, right? In bootcamp, what happens? We don't do practicals. What we do a theoretical classes. At the end, we do a what we call the project, right? So same way we go. It's not a regular class, right? In the regular class, what happens? We go in depth, each concept, we do hands-on at the same time, right? It's not like that, right? In any crash course, what you see, guys, right? In any crash course, what you see like 2 months crash course. What they do, even though if you are joining AWS course, if you are joining DevOps course, what they do, or you join the Kubernetes course, right? Yes, 𝐾𝐈𝐒 project last we are doing, okay? So don't worry about the 𝐾𝐈𝐒 project. I've already shared the document with you all for the tools installations in CICD session 2, right? If you have not checked out that, go and check out the CICD session 2 document, where you will find the link in the description, okay? That's how I believe this will help you definitely, right? And I hope the success stories are already generated from the last few sessions. Someone has pinged me on Instagram. When I was doing Instagram live, someone has pinged me like he got a job offer, and then from Europe, one of the person has got the job offer, right? Yes, Ahmed, thanks. Great. So now, if you guys are seeing, right, so this is the first slide. In the first slide, if you are seeing Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, all are with same name, guys, right? So you don't need to worry about searching with different names. Telegram, Singham for DevOps, Twitter, Singham for DevOps, Instagram, Singham for DevOps. I actively post all the bootcamp data on Instagram. So connect with me on Instagram so that you come to know like what is the agenda if you are missing the emails, right? Yes, good evening all. I'm still waiting for 100 people to join. Let's see, right? And then we'll start the session. It's only 4:02 right now. Yeah, we have to give some time for the audience to join. Yes. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please put in the chat, right? I will definitely answer all your queries, right? Which country is best for work abroad for DevOps and crowds? Shailesh, getting an opportunity itself is good, all right? So I believe any country which gives you ample amount of opportunity with good amount of pay, that should be okay to go, right? But make sure there is no recessions or something. And one more thing, guys, attendance and other things we need to fill, right? So please take the attendance now. I hope, okay, you are already filling, that's good. Okay, I'll just give it here so that we don't waste time later on, right? And yeah, this is the attendance sheet, guys. Go ahead and just check out that. I will pin this on the chat. Okay, I have pinned it. So please go ahead and fill the attendance. And this attendance is mainly for the for filtering out the serious people. And after the bootcamp is completed by August, mid of the August or by August end, we will have specific sessions on Zoom and Microsoft Teams, where I will be calling these people there, and I'll be doing the live interaction on resume on how to actually crack the top organizations, right? How to actually approach to the companies like Fang Mang, whatever the people are asking, right? Great. So I hope 82 are watching. So without much wasting time, I'll get started with the session. I know people will join as the session goes. So I hope that's completely fine, right? So yes, I'm ready from my end. Okay, done attendance. Yes, great. So now this is Kubernetes session 1, okay? And this session we are mainly focusing on how we are creating actually the pods. We'll see how the application routing is happening, right? From one application to another application. Whatever last concepts we have seen, those concepts continuation will be here, okay? So don't worry about that. Don't worry about anything. Just concentrate for another 1.5 hour to 1 hour 45 minutes. So be with me. Okay. So first slide will go. First, we'll talk about Kubernetes architecture, guys. Okay. And this is the main place where people will try to hold you off, right? Without knowing the architecture, how you can proceed further for actually doing the practicals, right? For actually making sure like you are creating something. You don't know like how the networking happens. You don't know like how this one pod is trying to communicate with the other pod, right? Suppose UI is there, microservice is there. You are not knowing like how this microservice and UI architecture are actually talking with each other, right? So we need to make sure we first know the architecture, right? And at the end of the bootcamp, as I've told you at August, mid of August, or by August end, we'll do a specific bootcamp project, which is very, very helpful for you all, right? With that steps and everything we will do, right? So don't worry about the project. Now, first of all, as you are seeing, this is a Kubernetes architecture, okay? And you are seeing 3 things here, okay? So let me do one thing. Yeah, so here you are seeing 3 things, right? So first thing is our master node. If you are seeing, the next things are worker node 1 and worker node 2, right? So any tool, any DevOps tool, when you are talking about, as I have told you in previous sessions also, we have a master server and we have a slaves, okay? So what happens is master, who is giving the control to the master, who is giving the commands to the master, we as a human beings are giving to the master node, right? And now who is actually giving the slaves the data? The master node. So if I am hovering here my mouse, you are able to see this is the master node, right? And if I am hovering here the mouse, you are seeing we are at the worker node 1 and we are at the worker node 2. Now we will be seeing the inbuilt components of the Kubernetes, right? So make sure those who are watching live, please make notes so that it will be very much helpful for you in the interview preparation, right? So I hope you guys are maintaining the notes, and I really appreciate few of the people who are sending me notes to share in the groups, right? So that is a beautiful thing. So I want everyone to be more agile, more quick, and more fastly grab the things, right? So now we are at a master node, right? So in your visuals, what you are trying to see, just type it here, right? In your visuals, what you are actually seeing the components, you can type down here so that I can know you guys are with me, right? So I'll be going ahead with that anyways. So in the first master node, you will see something called API server, right? You will see something called etcd, you will see something called scheduler, and you will see something called control manager. Okay, and this is the developer, like 130 people are watching, so we are all developers, okay, DevOps developers. And this is a command which we'll be seeing in a little bit while, okay? What is this command actually doing, okay? Now, I'll be specifically talking about the master node, so concentrate what actually the master node does, okay? So first of all, we are a developer, okay? And when we install the Kubernetes in, let's take, we have some tools, right? Let's take Minikube. If you are knowing some tools of Minikube Rancher, right? Please paste the links here in the chat so that other people can get benefited, right? So now what happens is you have Minikube, it is an open source Kubernetes, and you have Rancher, okay? I hope you guys are getting me what I'm telling. Minikube and Rancher are free open source Kubernetes softwares, which when installed in the laptop, they behave as the actual Kubernetes for you, right? And other AWS clouds we have, what are the other AWS things we have, guys? We have Google Cloud Platform, we have GCP, we have Azure, right? We have AWS, right? So these all also gives the Kubernetes platforms to us, right? But for our hands-on, we will go with Minikube or Rancher, either of them, okay, at the end of the bootcamp, right? So now let's understand this is a developer, right? So developer, what they are doing, they are trying to hit a command, okay? And this command, if you are able to see, it is in green color, okay? Yes, EKS, AKS, everything, yeah. So developer is trying to hit a command, and this command actually is the command which actually creates the pod. Okay, let's take, I'm actually logging into the Kubernetes, right? Or some command which actually invokes the API server. Okay, so I have told you already in the last session what is an API server, right? So what is the API server? API server is nothing but which actually processes the incoming request and sends the data to the required other things, other areas. Okay, so now let's take, I am asking my Kubernetes just like that, I want to log in into Kubernetes. Okay, so first you see this is a kubectl command. When I'm hitting the kubectl command, what it is doing actually, it is trying to actually hit the API server. Okay, so the first component in master node is API server, okay, which takes the incoming request, process that, and then sends to the required component. Okay, so the first component in our Kubernetes is API server. Don't worry, we have slides where I have given the data of the particular component in the going forward things, but don't worry about that, right? So now API server is completed. It only takes the incoming request, process that incoming request, and sends the data to the other areas, right? So I hope you are able to understand with me. If you have any questions, just ping here, I will reply to that. Now, control manager, you are able to see control, right? The name itself is telling controlling the entire master node. It's like the brain of the Kubernetes master node. Okay, yes. So if you are able to understand, all right, just tell yes or no. Okay, so that I can understand, yes, you guys are actually understanding what's the concept going on behind. Okay, so just make sure, right, if you are able to understand the control manager is nothing but it is the brain of the entire master node. Okay, so when we say brain, it actually decides the request data which is coming from the outside, right, where to process, what the process needs to be done, which things it should be sent to where, right, all those things, how our brain functions, right, what we think, what we imagine, it actually does, right? Like I'm shaking my hands, right? So actually it is first processed in my brain, right? So in the similar way, control manager processes everything and actually sends the data to various components. Now, so first of all, the kubectl command is coming. API server senses that it has some versions actually with the project, like some versions which I will show you in the coming slides, right? And now control manager receives the data. If you are seeing, API server is to and fro talking with etcd, scheduler, and control manager, right? So these three components are very, very much important for your application to run properly, right? I mean the Kubernetes master node to work properly. Now control manager is our brain, right? It is our brain. Now what is a scheduler, right? I'm telling in a very small way, but yeah, as we go ahead in the Kubernetes session, we will come to know more data about it, right? So what is a scheduler, guys? Actually, let's think I am sending some data to the Kubernetes. API server has actually processed the data, and control manager is trying to understand what exactly that incoming data is. Okay, now control manager has actually read the data, what it needs to be, what the incoming data is coming. And if it is a scheduler, right, if it is a kind of scheduling process, or what scheduler does is, actually scheduler talks with the entire worker nodes data. If you are seeing, the arrows are coming, right, the big arrow, right, I mean the first arrow from the, okay, the first arrow from the top and the second arrow from the down, right? From each of the worker node there is an arrow which is pointing to the API server, right? So what this scheduler does is, actually scheduler is nothing but it will decide which worker node my pod should deploy, right? You remember the first example, the 1 BHK or 2 BHK example, right? Guess what happens is, the incoming application is coming, right? I am telling the example again. The incoming application is coming. Now we are having the hall which is acting as a master node, and we are having 2 bedrooms which are acting as our what we call the worker nodes. Okay, now this application which is coming from the hall, right, it is in hall right now, and the hall is deciding which bedroom is empty right now to send this application. In the same way, the scheduler acts upon the application, right? Great. So I hope you guys are understanding. 150 plus people are watching the live, so I hope I am making it understand, right? And that's how we actually trigger the process. Okay, now scheduler, it came to know like, okay, worker node 2 is empty now, worker node 2 is having specific set of space for our application to get deployed, right? So what happens is this scheduler will tell to the API server that okay, the control manager actually tells the scheduler that okay, there is something incoming pod is coming, you deploy it. Scheduler, what it does, scheduler will come to check all the cluster nodes, worker nodes basically, and it will find out like okay, in worker node 2 there is both RAM, memory, and entire environment is very much suitable for your application, right? So once the application suitable environment is found out, this scheduler will talk with the API server, and that application will go and decide the place to sit, right? So once scheduler decides that, it will send the data back to the control manager, and control manager then finally tells the application that okay, go and sit in worker node 2, right? Yes, watchman house, scheduler in the owner. Yes, this is great. Isaki is telling a control manager in like house, watchman, scheduler in owner. Yes, anything can be, right? So many examples we can give, but I hope you guys are getting it. If you are getting it, just tell yes. I thank Subha for joining all these sessions. I think our moderator has not joined today the session, but that's okay. Right? So Sarvana, one worker will have only 3 pods, or it depends? No, one worker will have any number of applications. It's not like one worker will have 3 pods. This is just an example. Pod is a container has an application, right? So pod worker node can have 100 pods depending on the size of the worker node. Okay, got it? Yes. Right? So now we will try to understand what actually the worker node is doing. Worker nodes are what, guys? Our 1 BHK or 2 BHK bedrooms, right? We have 2 bedrooms, worker node 1 and worker node 2. And what we are having in worker node 1 and worker node 2, if you are seeing clearly, we are having a pod, which is our application. We are having kube proxy. We are having container runtime. And we are having kubelet, right? Now try to understand this kubelet is again a brain in the worker node, right? So kubelet will try to analyze the entire worker node 1's data, and it always sends the data to the API server, right? You are able to understand, right? Now let's understand in a different way. Okay, API server is here, kubelet is here with the worker node 1, and this is the master node. And the worker node 1 always sends the data to the API server stating, hey, I am alive, or stating, hey, you see I have these applications running. Okay, so there should be continuous talk between worker and master node, right? And that's how it is achieved. Okay, so now let's understand what happens with etcd. You are seeing the master node 1, the master node has etcd component. So guys, just imagine whenever we take an application, right? So the application has a UI, has a backend, and a database, right? So in the similar way, the Kubernetes has the database. Okay, so database is called etcd, right? So this database is something like key value pairs. Okay, like Amazon has DynamoDB, which is only having the key value pairs. What is key? Key is something called your application name and the values of the application. Let's take that like that, right? So now what happens is this kubelet will send all the data to the API server, and API server in turn sends the data to the kubelet. It's telling like it's a basic the combination of worker node and master node, like both are together. Okay, now what are the other things we'll see? Kube proxy, as this name itself tells, kube proxy is nothing but it's a variable assignee in the worker node. Okay, now what is a variable assignee? Now think, our application needs security related things, our application needs proxy related things, our application needs the routing related things, right? So who will give all those things is the kube proxy, right? So why we do a proxy? Basically to protect our application from something, right? We give some security, hard security on top of that, or we make sure our application is very good in terms of the security related things. And what is container runtime? See, I told you right? Just watch this for another 2 to 3 minutes, you will get it, okay, what I was trying to understand. So now this is our pod, okay. Now under the pod, what is having? We are having container. I will show you this in the configuration files, okay. Yes, this is our container. Under container, what we are having? Under container, our application is residing. Under application, what is residing? Our code. Under code, the processes and threads, right? So this is a high level hierarchy. Again, on top of pod, what is there, guys? Top of pod, we are having the node, right? Worker node, which is actually maintaining all the pods together, right? So that's how the nature of the application is in the place actually, right? So I hope you are getting. If you have any doubts, just tell you have doubts. I will repeat again. If you are having no doubts, then we will go to the next slide. I hope I am making it sense what I was trying to able to explain you all. And you see here there is a load balancer concept. We will again see in our coming slides what this actually load balancer do, right? So now developer is there, at the end user is there, both are smiling because we as a DevOps engineers have set up this Kubernetes in such a way so that it's always available, always its security is tight, scalable, right? So all those things we make sure it is happening, right? So I will take 2 minutes of time to answer your questions in the chat. So those who are having questions, please fire on the chat, okay? So where will the kube proxy present? Kube proxy, okay, guys, when you install the Kubernetes, all the components will be predefinedly installed in your laptop, okay? Let's take, I go and install Kubernetes software, double click. So all the master node components and all the worker node components will be installed without the pods. Pods are our applications, right? So let's take, I am creating a DevOps application. I will deploy the pod later, right? So you are able to understand. Okay. Now, what is pod? Pod is a smallest unit where our application resides. Container, like who has asked? Ashwin is, okay, GOPS, okay. So you have asked me the question. So what is pod? Pod is nothing but a container. You can imagine container. Under the container, our application is running, okay. Just landed here, you are teaching real time. I am fresher. Yes, Banu, everything was on a real time, so definitely check out. There can be multi-container pods, right? Is it recommend? Yes, �R𝐸𝐵 multi-container pods are good to have, right? Why? Because some applications needs the sidecar application. Sidecar, we call it as, like, our main application is there and our other container dependency we need. Right, we are actually trying to have one more application dependency. We create a sidecar and we attach it to it. So one pod will have 2 containers, okay. So don't worry about that. Yes, ingress is there, ingress controller, we'll be talking about that. Node scaling is also there. These are the questions which are in coming slides. Anything on this slide I will be taking up, where we need to define worker node capability. What is the use of kubectl? Kubectl is something like, I'll give you a best example, Saurin. See, I am Praveen, okay, myself Praveen, I am a DevOps engineer. How you came to know about me? You came to know about me by my name, then my designation. How I came to know about you is through your name, right? So kubectl is the command which actually Kubernetes knows, like, oh, something is calling me. Okay, when we use kubectl in the black terminal, it will hit the Kubernetes system and Kubernetes will get invoked. इसका मतलब यह है कि like someone is calling you, Kubernetes. Hey Kubernetes, someone is calling you. Got it? Yes, great. So I have taken all the questions. I'll move ahead, right? And 180 plus people are watching. Guys, I would request you all to share the channel link with your friends, right? See the efforts I am putting, the documents which I am sharing of my interview questions and all those things. Definitely, I believe you will definitely get help. And also I want you all to share the channel link with your friends, either in WhatsApp groups, either as a WhatsApp status, either in anywhere where you feel like, okay, at least some other friend gets benefited, right? So please do share so that we all grow together, right? I'm telling openly, we all should grow together, right? So everyone's efforts should be taken in account, right? I hope you have filled the attendance sheet, guys, right? So if someone is not filled the attendance sheet, I have pinned the link in the chat. Also, I have the link in the description, right? Yes. Now we are moving ahead into the next next slide. So here we will be talking about, I mean, I have put some inline contents. Master node, 4 components: API server, control manager, etcd, scheduler. Right? Very much clear. Great. Now, what is API server? It is a front end for the Kubernetes. Right? Front end in the sense, as I have told you, when someone is telling, hey Kubernetes, someone is calling like hey Kubernetes. Through which command someone is calling kubectl command, someone is calling Kubernetes. Right? So that is how the thing will be. Okay. Now, what is control manager? You see here I have put nicely. This is a component on the master that runs controllers. So I have told you control manager is the brain of the master node, right? So this is the brain actually, which will actually tell the Kubernetes what needs to be done. So there are different segments how that brain will control. Okay. So one is node controller, one is replication controller, one is endpoint controller, one is token controllers. And what are these? I will tell you now. So what happens, right? In human body, let's consider Kubernetes as a human body. So now what happens in human body, our brain controls all the systems, right? In the same way, control manager controls the node, right? Worker nodes. I told you, right, how the worker nodes are controlled through the control manager in the master node, right? So now you see when the worker node dies, right? When the worker node dies, what it is trying to do? Yes, Kubernetes is open source, Nikhil. So now what happens is when the control node actually checking the data, right? And now let's imagine this is a worker node, this is a master node. Worker node suddenly died. Now what happens? This immediate data is sent to the master node, and master node will create one more worker node, right? Why one more worker node it will create? I told you, replications, scaling, right? You see, node controller, if node is died, one more node it will give. Replication, similar amount of pods. What replication means is a copy of me, right? Or copy of a product, a copy of a phone. Like if I have 2 phones with me, a similar brand, similar specification, what we call, it's a replica of this, right? So what control manager does is, it always ensures the replication of each pod. Okay, got it, right? So anyone who wants to be a moderator for the chat, I'll be happy to make them moderator. Just ping me as you want to become a moderator. I will be making you a moderator. I think Tanzil has not joined today, or else in the last 3 sessions he was the moderator. But yeah, so now the replication controller we have seen. Don't worry guys, if you are not getting also, I have the configuration files. I'll be showing you all those things. All right. So now, what are endpoint controllers? Endpoint controllers are nothing but, let's take www.amazon.com, www.flipkart.com. So now what happens is actually, those are like endpoints for the application, right? So you see that actually joins the service and the pods. We will see these 2 components also in a little bit of time. Okay. Now token controllers, tokens, service accounts, these are actually the access tokens through which the creation of the namespaces, creation of the actual data, or logging into the Kubernetes clusters, the access is given. Okay, ideologist Shine, I am making you as a moderator. Thank you. Okay, add moderator, done. Okay, so you can reply to all the chats, right? So it will be helpful for me as well as you all. He's helping us, right? So now etcd, I have told you this is a database, guys. Okay, so database, very consistent and highly available. Key value store. What is key value store? You have lock, you have key, right? Without the lock, key can't be open, right? In the same way, the etcd is a database which actually backs up and stores all the data of the Kubernetes, right? Wonderful, right? Wonderful, great. So now, consistent and highly available is the key factor of this database. Not only this database, every database, this consistency should be there, this highly availability should be there. And scheduler, as I have told you, control plane, master node component that watches for newly created pods with no assigned node and selects the node for them to run. I told you in the slide 1, what is a scheduler? the scheduler will check actually which worker node, which slave is available to our application to be deployed onto that, right? So scheduler is nothing but scheduling the things. Like you have your manager in team. What manager does? Manager actually schedules the work for each day, or else team lead does that, right? Or else let's take your person who is above level to you. He actually schedules the tasks, like, okay, you take this, you take that, right? So in the same way, Kubernetes here, scheduler does that, right? Great. So I'll go to the node components now. Sorry, any questions here? Components of Kubernetes, any questions? 193 are watching, it's really good. Why understanding Kubernetes architecture is so complex? Nikhil, it was complex, it seems. Okay, I tried my best to explain in a generic way, but yeah, there is nothing to worry, Nikhil. Only 4 components in master node, 4 components in worker node. Both the master node and the worker node are connected through the component called kubelet, right? Kubelet is nothing but which is a component in the worker node, and API server is the component of the master node. Got it? Great. Everything is good. So I'll be moving on to the node components. So earlier slide we have seen with network. I'll continue offline video. Okay, Lucky, got it. No issues. Please, those who have issues, you are okay to take the visit later, right? So we are at the node components, guys, and don't leave the stream, because at the end we will be discussing on the Kubernetes questions, right? So how many of you want to get placed into top organizations, guys? How many of you want to triple and double your packages which you are earning currently? How many of you want to support your parents, right, in a beautiful way, right? How many of you want to fulfill your desires, right? So I hope I am giving the sessions in that particular way so that you guys can fulfill each of your dream, right? Yes, yes. In that I am also there, guys. Okay, so like this content preparation is taking so much efforts. This 2 hours spending here, right, not going anywhere, right, on this weekend, right? From morning, I used to think like how I need to explain the things, how I need to give my best, right? Then setting up the things before this live, right? Having 2 laptops, 1 monitor, then adapters, and you guys have told me that last time I think power connectivity issue was there, so I brought the UPS for the router, right, so that you don't get power connectivity issue, right? And so those are the things which I am taking care, right? Yes, so that's how I also need your support, right? But I am guaranteeing, guys, I am 100% guaranteeing those who are sincerely watching my videos, those who are sincerely following all the things from other people and as well as me, will definitely get placed in another 2 to 3 months. Mark my words. Okay, great. So now we are at node components, right? So without much delay, we will go with node components. Okay, now, so this node, I will tell you, node and worker node and slave, all the things are same. Okay, worker node we call, or the other terms are like slave, right? Anything, worker node or slave, both are same. Okay, right. So now we have here 4 things, right? But 3 things have been highlighted. Just watch with me. I think someone has asked me what is kubelet. I think another person asked me what is container runtime. So this is the slide where I'll be telling you guys. Okay, in brain, keep the diagram till the end of the session so that you guys always follow up on the diagram. And when someone asks you, okay, how you created the manifest file, how you deployed your application into Kubernetes, how you wrote the manifest file configurations, those things will be actually related to your design diagram, right? So in product-based organization, they ask how you designed your application, right? So those things will actually matter you a lot, right? So without wasting time, we'll be at point 1, kubelet. I will just retell again. Kubelet is nothing but an agent. Okay, you are seeing an agent that runs on each worker node, right? And it makes sure that containers are running in a pod. So kubelet, guys, what was the brain of the master node? Anyone? What was the brain of the master node? Can anyone tell me? Right? So why I'm asking you questions? I want everyone to follow the class, right? Yes, yes, yes. We all want to achieve the things, right? Right? Great. Great. Controller. Yes. Control manager was the brain of the master node. In the same way, you can tell like the brain in the worker node or the slave is kubelet, which actually continuously monitors the cluster or the worker node and make sure the pods are running, right? Now let's take, guys, now only imagine about worker node. Okay, now this is a worker. Okay, this is a worker node. Okay, under worker node there are two pods, pod 1, pod 2. Okay, and both these pods are belonging to two applications. Okay, one is, let's take like Amazon, one is Flipkart. Now what happens is suddenly this Flipkart application goes down, right? This Flipkart application goes down. Now what happens is immediately this kubelet will sense this application has got down, and it will immediately send the request to the master node for one more pod, because it has died, right? It has died. Now it has to make it up, right? So who will make it up? Again, kubelet will send the data to the master node will process that, and again scheduler will see, and again control manager will tell to the Kubernetes that okay, here go and again make the Flipkart application to be up and running, right? So great. So I hope you guys have understood here. Kube proxy is nothing but, I have told you, network proxy we need for our security, right? And also we need to allow and disallow some of the network rules, right? Able to understand me? 196 of you are watching. Now let's understand. In 196, right, I will only allow 100 of you to actually join my next session. Let's think like that. So what I am doing, guys, I am filtering out some of the people from here to here, right? Able to understand? So kube proxy, what it does is it will filter out the unnecessary content, or some security policies will be applied, okay? And it will help your pod network communication, okay? And what is container runtime? As I have told you guys, container runtime is nothing but it will actually help your application or the container to be up and running, right? And you see, container runtime will actually help your containers to be up and running. At the same time, it extracts the data of the container, like container memory, container CPU utilization, container networks, right? In last session, we remember I talked about Docker networks. Can anyone tell me how many types of Docker networks are there? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? If you can ping on the chat, right? That will be really good. So just wanted to know how many of you are attentive and following the class, right? 4 types, yes. With 3, yes, yes, great. So you all are following the class, right? Yes, correct. So I see people are, yes, 3: host network, bridge network, and overlay network, right? So these 3 are very important, and this container runtime will maintain all the data of the container, okay? So that is why if you follow the sessions, it will be very much easy for you guys to actually follow the data, right? So now we'll be going into the next slide. So guys, someone has asked me what is a manifest file, right? So time is 4:40 now. I will take 2 minutes of break for the questions. So if you have any questions, just shoot at me. I will be taking in. By 4:40 we will resume the next slide, okay? Any questions related to your slides or anything if you have? Okay. What are YAML files? Okay. YAML files are nothing but, in DevOps, right, there is different types of languages to be followed, okay? Let's take YAML is one type of syntax we follow for scripting. Groovy, one type of syntax pattern we follow. Shell, again one type of scripting syntax, right? So YAML is nothing but plain syntax language. You see in this slide itself, right? This slide has, this is called a YAML script, which has the predefined key value pair, right? So everything will be similar to like that, and it's a predefined one. Like Kubernetes has told to us that if you use this file and this type of syntax, like step 1, step 2, step 3, then only our Kubernetes will listen, or else Kubernetes will not listen, right? Now, what is container runtime? Yes, Rajiv, I have already told, container runtime is actually helping the applications to be up and running. Containers, right? It actually makes sure all the containers inside the pod are up and running. It's basically container monitoring system kind of thing, okay? How many at least slave nodes should have? Slaves can be any number of nodes, okay? If your manager says, hey, let's have 10 slaves and 1 master, go ahead and have that configuration, create that, and just work on that, right? Great. What else questions? How many slave? I told you, sir, can freshers follow up? Yes. Guys, those who are freshers, you all can definitely follow this bootcamp. And why I am telling is because I want everyone to stand apart from your colleagues, right? When I was in engineering, I never knew like software field is so much important for us, right? So we used to play, chill around and all those things. But you guys can be different from others by following some of the sessions. At the same time, follow some other people also with whom you like the content and you like the motivation. Okay. Okay, guys, 4:40 is done. I'll stop here. I'll talk about this manifest file. Then we'll take the questions at 5:10. Right, 20 minutes. We'll take 2 minutes break. Okay. Okay. Manifest file components. Right. Now, I told you in every DevOps tool, right? In every DevOps tools, what happens is we have a configuration files, right? And how this configuration file will look like, this file which you are seeing. And guys, last class we have seen which file, right? We saw one file, right? Last class, which file we have seen, right? Can anyone tell me which file, or else I will only tell, right? Last class we have seen Docker file. And with that Docker file, we have created, yes, with that we have created a image. With that image, we tried to build a container. And this class, okay, you all are with me, okay? And in this class, I am trying to connect the dots, guys, okay? Just tell me yes or no, if you are able to connect the dots, yes or no, okay? Now, in the last class, application was converted into an image was converted into a container, right? That's how we have seen. And I told you container will be deployed in Kubernetes. But now in today's class, we will see how that image is getting converted into a pod and how that pod is getting deployed into Kubernetes. Got it? Yes? Yes? Great. Great. Okay. Now, guys, listen. Yes. So now manifest file components, okay. In this manifest file components, similarly like Docker file, we have some predefined data, okay. Yes, API version, kind, metadata and spec. And let's assume I am trying to install some web server, okay. nginx deployment.yaml file. This is my file name, and this file has this data. All are with me? Yes, 200 people are watching. Yes. Now, very much important, for another 5 minutes, be with me. Okay. File name is nginx deployment.yaml, and in that file we have this data, right? And what is that data? One is API version, one is kind, one is metadata, and one is spec. You see, in the extreme left corner, we are writing these 4 keywords. All are with me? Yes? All are with me? Yes? Great, great. Now, why these things are there, right? Anyone can ask me, why we are using only 4 components in our configuration file? It's more than 4 components, guys. In real time, in actually big projects, this file will be of 1000 lines or 500 lines or 200, 300 lines, right? But don't worry, for a better understanding, we'll go with this file, right? No, Nginx is not a default name. Here it can be praveen-deployment.yaml, akshay-deployment.yaml, any file name .yaml. .yaml is a must. Okay, .yaml is a must. Now, we will talk about the 4 things which I was telling. Okay, now API version, kind, metadata, and spec. And what is API version? I will try to link here. Okay, link 1 is API version. API version is nothing but, again I will ask you a question, alright? Have you ever done any DevOps automation with REST APIs? Yes or no? Okay, if you have done, you will see, let's take a Jira example. Jira will have a version of v2, like www.hellojira.com/v1 or v2, right? You guys have not done automation with REST APIs? Oh my god. Okay. Yes? Okay. For all those who have not done the automation with the REST APIs, it's a high time that we do the automation. Okay. In our next class, and I think many of you have given the poll for the automations only. So next class, we will do a complete automation, and I want everyone to have your laptops with you with a shell, with a Linux server or whatever, like a Linux environment flavor. Okay, so that we do some hands-on also. Okay, and we will do the REST API automations in our next session, right? Next session, where you guys will come to know how the automations are done in the real-time organizations. And if you keep those things in your resume, like if you keep automation as a heading and you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, right? Then it will be definitely helpful for you all to crack the interviews, at least for your resume to get selected. Everyone wants to be different from others, then only your resume will be selected. You all have to be unique from others, and I will make sure with my content you all are unique from others. Okay, so next session we will definitely focus on automation, okay, where you will have one server, okay, a Linux server, and we will do some automations there. Okay, so I was telling API version. API version is nothing but it's a endpoint for Kubernetes, or Kubernetes will listen on this endpoint only. Let's take apps. If I put apps/v3, Kubernetes will not listen. Okay, if I put app/v2, Kubernetes will not listen. Kubernetes will listen only if my file has app/v1. Okay, got it? API version is nothing but the calling function for the Kubernetes, so that Kubernetes knows, like, okay, this is a genuine incoming request for me. Getting? And who is invoking that, guys? kubectl command is actually invoking that. Kind, the second component, kind is nothing but it will actually help your file to differentiate from the other files. Got it? So in kind we have different data. So now if you are seeing here I have given deployment. In kind you will have the key is kind. The value can be pod, service, deployment, or daemon set. Okay, these things can be there in kind. Okay, all are with me. 200 people are watching. So I am at kind key value pair. Kind is nothing but it will decide what type of file it is, what type of output I need from the file. If I put here pod, just listen to me carefully. If I put here the kind as pod, okay, then what I am asking my file to do? I am asking my file to actually create a pod for me with a container, right? Now let's take, if I am giving kind as deployment. If I am giving kind as deployment, I am asking my file to have the pod replicas to be with me, right? If you are seeing replicas, right, how many pods I need? I'm asking my pod to have 3 pods to be with me. Getting yes, no? I hope I'm making it sense. If I'm not making it sense, I'll repeat again, but let me know. Yes, no? Yeah, yes, great, getting right. So again, I will repeat for the sake of you all, those who are watching, just listen carefully. If I am giving kind as pod, it means I am asking my file to create a pod for me. If I am asking a deployment as a kind, I want my applications to have 3 types, 3 replicas, 1, 2 and 3, right? If I am asking as a daemon set, this is one more type of kind, okay, which I will not explain now, but try to understand. When someone asks in the interview, hey, tell me how many types of kind is there, what type of actually groundwork you have done in Kubernetes, right? So you need to make them understand you have created a pod, you have created deployment, you have created daemon set, right? If you tell them this, they will think like, okay, this guy has done something. People don't know actually in real time what happens, right? Now, one more interview question. People will ask you, tell me how you will create the replicas for a pod. Okay. Now, I am asking you all, how will you create a replica for a pod? Tell me. Tell me, guys, how will you create a replica for the pod? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Kind pod, replica set, kind deployment. Yes, yes, replica set. Yes. Correct. Correct. Great. So that is how the power of these sessions will be. Okay, with one single terminology you understood, right? So everyone is correct. Kind pod will create a pod for us with the application. Kind deployment will help us to scale our applications. Okay, so I hope you guys are making it notes. If someone is making notes, right, just don't keep it with you, share in the groups so that those people who have not joined the live session will definitely get help, right? So I think Hemant is doing from the past 3 sessions and his notes are really good, like point to point is noting everything. So I want everyone to do that. Okay, now what is metadata, guys? Okay, metadata is nothing but it is a generic value, okay, for our application. Now what happens is, in this universe everything has a name, right? In the same way our pod should have a name, right? So what name we are giving is my nginx. So this metadata is something where we give names and we attach a label to the pod. And why we attach a label? A pod is a product, let's think like that, okay? And in shops what we have every item having a label, right? Okay, every item having a label, right? So guys, for you all, again I am repeating, you all just go ahead and search 𝐶𝐚𝐫 for DevOps, SINGAM4, right? DEVOPS. This is the ID for the Telegram, this is the ID for the Twitter, and this is the ID for the Instagram, right? So I share actively the bootcamp notes, contents, data, job openings in all the 3 platforms. So go ahead and check out that. If anyone is having my Instagram link, please paste on the chat so that people can get help, right? So now we are at spec. Okay, metadata I made you understood, right? Metadata is nothing but we are assigning our pod a name and attaching a label to it, label and a name, okay? And what is specifications, right? This specification is very important, guys, and please be with me for another 5 minutes. Please listen carefully. This is the brain. Now everything has a brain, right? So this is a brain, okay? So I am getting very much sweat, so I have switched on my AC. So those who want to take a break, go fast and come back, because we all need a break, but I am good, I will continue. Okay, it's 4:53, almost 1 hour, right? So that's okay. Now spec is nothing but what we are actually trying to do with this kind. Okay, and I have told you, if I am using kind as deployment, I am actually scaling, scaling my application. Okay, yes. Now selectors. Okay, now what is a selector, guys? Selector is nothing but this is kind of a dependency. Okay, now there are two applications. Okay, there are two applications, and this application is dependent on this applications. Okay, now what I am telling is selectors are nothing but which will actually help us to select some application pods that these two pods are dependent on each other. Getting me? Yes, no? All are with me? Oh, you don't see 𝐶𝐚𝐫 for DevOps? Okay, guys, can anyone? Okay, I think, but 𝐶𝐚𝐫 for DevOps discussion group is there. Join there, and that should be good. Okay, yes, QTOps movement. I don't know, yaar. Please tell your name. You are everywhere messaging, but this is really cute. Your name, right? QTOps movement, right? Okay, I'll share shortly. Yes, please do share. Now we are at selectors. Selectors are nothing but which will actually help your pod to make sure, like, okay, one more dependency is there. Okay, one more pod it needs to use, or this pod is actually dependent on this pod. All right. Now template is nothing but, let's take, we want to use some data, additional data, we want to use some other applications data, right? So those things will actually help you to find here. Okay, and this is important, guys. Under spec, under template, right? And this template is for the container, guys. Now, right, I told you docker image, then container. So image is with us now, and we are trying to create a container. Listen carefully, guys. Container, and this container is placed where? Inside a pod. Okay, getting me? Again, I will repeat. This was the image, guys, docker image, which we have built in the last session. So those who have missed the last session, go and check out the last session, right? So what I am telling is, this was the image which we created in the last session. With this image, we are creating a container, and with this container, we are creating a pod. Getting? All are with me? All are with me? Yes, selector is something, variables. Yes. I think I had some confusion, but yes, all are clear, right? Here, yes. Isaki is telling yes, great. Okay, Vikas, please check out the last session. You will definitely get it. Okay, so now I will move to the next things, and we will discuss some important concepts here. Yes, it is indentation specified. Okay, now let's move ahead with the service components, guys. Now, why this service is needed? Okay, now I will tell you an example. Just say yes or no to me. Okay, ever imagine, right, when we have replications? Okay, like I have two pods, same application is deployed in two pods, and something at the front is routing to the two pods, right? Something is routing to the two pods, right? Now let's take some person is actually hitting www.amazon.com from here, right? And it is redirecting to both the pods, right? Now imagine what happens if the IP addresses are constant. I mean, for this pod it is constant one, and for this pod it is constant one. Now let's imagine if this pod is died, right? Now what happens? It has only one pod to redirect the request, and immediately one more pod comes up because of Kubernetes concept, right? High availability, high scalability. This IP address will be changed again. Now, if you are hitting with www.helloworld.com, right, what happens is this redirection, right, will be very much difficult if there is no service at the front, which actually maps that which request to go where. Okay, so this configuration file is main component. When we design the Kubernetes application, we design a service also in front of the Kubernetes pod. Okay, now let's imagine this is our Kubernetes pod which has our application. So in front of that we also create a service pod which actually points to this pod, like www.helloworld.com. Here user is hitting and it will first go to the service pod. Service pod will redirect it to the actual application pod. Okay, getting me? Now what are the service components we will see now? Okay, now service components are four types. Okay, four types. Now first is cluster IP, one is NodePort, other two I will tell right in the slides. Now what is a cluster IP? Very much important, guys, and people will ask this. Even I faced this question in multiple interviews, so I will definitely tell you guys to just check on this. Okay, now cluster IP is nothing but the name itself tells. Let's take you have 3 worker nodes. Okay, 2. I cannot show you here 3, but imagine it's 2 worker nodes, and these 2 worker nodes have 2 applications. One application is one pod and the other application in other pod. Okay, great. So now let's take one application is, okay, all are with me, right? Again I am telling, okay, what is cluster IP? We are at cluster IP, guys, and we will see how this cluster IP actually works. Okay, now these are 2 clusters. Okay, clusters in the sense 2 worker nodes, and in first worker node there is one application, second worker node there is second application. Now how these 2 will talk is through this cluster IP. Okay, so this cluster IP, imagine there is an imaginary line which is actually a cluster IP, which will actually help the applications to talk with each other. Okay, okay, yes. Now how this behavior is like, see, I have told you the manifest file will resemble 4 components. One is API version, one is kind, one is metadata, one is spec. Everywhere these 4 components will be there. What is the benefit of redirection? Aman, I have already told, because Kubernetes will have many pods. First thing is, in order to make sure which service request should go where, right? So this service pod is important. Secondly, if service pod is not there, directly your application will be getting hit, right? Which is not a good practice. So this service pod is very much important in order to make sure the right request goes to the right point. Okay. Now, if you see again API version, kind, metadata, and spec. In the spec, guys, in the spec, what we are in the kind, what we are telling, guys, we are talking about service components, and I have told you these service are of 4 types. So if anyone is noting down, please note in this way, like there are 4 service components. Okay, yeah, there are 4 service components, and each component we will talk about. Okay, so kind, what is this, guys? Service, and this service component will actually reside in front of the pod. Okay, great. See, yeah, I hope you guys are understanding. Right now, what is this practicality? I have the pictures again with me. Wait for some time, I'll be showing you all that. I cannot do a hands-on, but yeah. Okay, now see what we are trying to do. We are creating a kind service, and we are actually in the specifications earlier. In the specifications we gave some different thing, but if you see here we are giving the specification as NodePort. Okay, now if I don't give this specification, what will happen, Praveen? Okay, if I don't give the type as NodePort, it will defaultly become the cluster IP. Okay, and you see what is cluster IP? To talk with other nodes in the cluster. Okay, so very much important, and it will play an important role also. And you see port and target port and node port, I will tell you, I will show you. Don't worry about this picture, don't worry about this slide. I will show you in detail what is node port, what is cluster IP. But as of now, just try to understand cluster IP is for the talking between the two pods in two clusters. NodePort is the entry point for the Kubernetes for the particular application. Okay, so now how to create a NodePort? You see this configuration file very much clearly explained. If I give type as NodePort and the NodePort value, you see 3000, what is this? 30,007, right? And guys, please note it down. I'll be showing you the flow at the I think 6th slide or sometime. But you see, this is the, okay, NodePort is 30,007. Port of the actual service is 80, and where this 80 is redirecting to the pod is on the 80. Okay, but don't worry, be with me. I'll be showing you guys the actual scenario. Okay, repeat please. Yes, I knew that. Yes. Anyone else who wants to get this repeat again? Yes? No? Okay, that's fine. I will repeat again. Okay, cluster IP is nothing but it is helping us to talk between the two applications in two clusters. NodePort is nothing but it will actually the entry point in the Kubernetes cluster. I will show you the diagram. Okay, don't worry about that. Now check this configuration file, API version, kind, metadata, and spec. In spec we gave NodePort, and NodePort value is, guys, this one. So in interview, if someone asks what is the NodePort value, then you have to give this one. Okay, 30,007. Okay, so make sure you are giving that 30,007 value to the interviewer. Okay, now I'll go to the next slide where we have other two types of service endpoints. Okay, great. So 160 people are watching, 168 people are watching. So make sure you are watching end to end flow, then only you will get it. Okay, because from here a little bit complexity we will take it. Okay, so now what is a load balancer, guys? Load balancer is nothing but which actually balances the load. Okay, right? Load balancer is nothing but which actually balances the load, and we will talk in depth about the load balancer in our AWS session. Okay, now let's take, I want to create a load balancer in front of my pod. Okay, guys, with me? Yes. Now imagine you want to create a load balancer in front of your application, right? We want our application to be highly scalable. Yes. How many of you want your application to be highly scalable? Yes, no? Yes. Everyone wants our application to be highly scalable, right? Now, if you see here, API version, kind, metadata, and spec, and in type, we are giving type as load balancer. Earlier, we gave as NodePort, right? So what are the port, guys? 80, and the app for which this load balancer has to be applicable is the Nginx app. Got it? Yes, everyone? Yes. Great. Okay, this sounds good, right? Load balancer, I will repeat again. Load balancer is nothing but which balances the load in front of the application. Okay, don't worry, guys, if you are not knowing, I will show you clearly in the coming slides. Okay, load balancer is nothing but which will balance the load in front of the application, and to create the load balancer, you just change this type here to load balancer, right? So now what is external name? Very much important, guys, and we call it as a canonical name. Okay, anyone knows about the canonical name? Yes, no, right? Because canonical name plays an important role for every application. Now ever imagine you are hitting www.youtube.com and it is taking you to the YouTube application. You are hitting www.amazon.com and it is taking you to the Amazon website, right? And you are hitting www.flipkart.com. Yeah, it is kind of aliasing. See, now what happens is I want to have a canonical name for my application. Earlier the application was 10.1.2.3:80. So when you are hitting that application, it is redirecting to your application. Now you want your application to have a www.example.com. So how you do is through the external name, right? That configuration you can definitely check out. www cname, yes, and https also. No, what happens is when we create the canonical names, right, and we take the certificates from organizations, so we can use either www or https, both are good. Okay, now we'll go to the actual slide, and this slide is the routing slide, which I want everyone to be with me, right? All are with me. Any questions? I'll take 2 minutes for your questions. Okay, and then we will see this slide in detail. Okay, yes, ingress is a controller again, which is kind of a load balancer in front of Kubernetes. Okay, so go ahead and ask me any questions. I'll be happy to answer you all. Okay, yes, 200 okay response. Yes, great. So people are awesome here. You guys are supporting really good. But yeah, I expected more people to join again this time. It touched around 200 plus people, but that's okay, right? We have many works in our weekend, right? Right. But guys, do one thing na, for me, please. This is a request from my side, right? If you are liking my content, right, guys, wait. If you are liking my content, na, go ahead and tell to your friends that I am doing this, right? And if you are in college, tell them that Praveen is doing this, and just ask them to check out my content. If they are liking, they will go ahead and subscribe, right? Even when I am looking at a channel, right, if I like the content, I will subscribe it and hit the bell notification, right? But if I'm not liking, I will not do, right? So just tell them, right? In college, we have more power to actually impact, right? But we waste the 4 years of time, right? So I want everyone who are college grads, go ahead and explore the things and tell to your friends that, okay, you are exploring this kind of opportunity. Okay, now, great, I will take the questions now. How to write YAML file with example one application? Okay, Trishul, whatever you have seen till now are the best examples for writing the YAML file, and these are YAML scripting. Okay, any separate admin for K8s? Yes, we have two types of certifications. One is CKAD, one is CKA, and admins are separately maintained for the Kubernetes because they have to do all the routings, all the security related things, all the patching and all those things they need to take care. Point towards the location of the pod. I will be showing you that, Rajiv, now. When did this session started? I just joined now. Narendra, these sessions have been started from June 11th, and we are already a month now completed. Okay, almost a month. So I have completed 3 sessions and this is my 4th sessions, right? So now what are the other questions? What are the other questions? External name, yes. Is NodePort 30,007 fixed? Okay, yes, it is fixed value. Load balancer is a service. Yes, load balancer is a service, guys. Will you have sessions on Helm as well? Helm, I can take it, but I wanted to make it short. But yeah, we will check out that also. Okay. How many masters taken in real time? Masters can be again taken 2 or 1 depending on your need for your applications. Okay, and 3 also, it depends on your application scenario. So there is nothing to comment from my end. I hope I am making it sense. So I'll drink some water again. Yes. Yes, great. Will DevOps guy fix pod related issues and connectivity issues? Yes, Ranjit. We are the people who needs to take care of all the things, right? Because admins are the ones who are secondary, but you guys, you 160 plus people are the primary DevOps engineers of the team who are actually working the development teams to go live and help in the production scenarios, right? Please send these slides in the group. Vishwajit, the scenario is I already created a GitHub account, but somewhere I am hesitating to make it public. Okay, and that is why I am taking this attendance, and those people are having the attendance, those emails. I am planning something different. Okay, I'll be updating you soon. Okay, I don't want it to make it available to everyone, because for each week preparing data, it takes me a lot of time, right? And I am sitting late night, and the content also should help you at the end, right? You should get a job at the end. You should confidently sit in the interview, and also in the shell scripting, I am giving you 100% assurance that will be the best shell scripting class. Okay, I am guaranteeing. Okay, great. So now Glory is telling OpenShift customized implementation of Kubernetes. Yes, correct, Prabhat. You have answered it correct. Radhika, could you list out pods, issues, and Kubernetes? Okay, Radhika, this is entire different session then. Pods issues, Kubernetes issues. It's not just like I tell and you understand, right? It's a whole different class we need to take, where at least 1 hour, 30 minutes, some time needs to be spent on this, right? So yes, now going into the session, we'll be back again to take the questions, but don't worry about that. Okay, another 15 minutes, be with me. 144 people are watching, right? And guys, please do share my Instagram link here and Telegram link, please, so that people can get help. Okay, I cannot do copy paste now because I am already in live, right? I don't want to disturb the stream, but please, you guys do it for me, right? Someone has told they will do it, but please do it. Okay, now very much important, another 5 minutes, be with me, right? Be with me. Okay, another 5 to 10 minutes. It's 5:16, right? Be with me. Very important concept, routing in Kubernetes. Okay, why we need routing in Kubernetes? It's very important for us to understand every application needs a routing. Like यहाँ से यहाँ आया, यहाँ से यहाँ गया, यहाँ से यहाँ गया. At the end, application को hit किया, application is giving back the response to actual user. Now, scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. Okay, guys, someone has asked me NodePort value is constant or not. It's not constant, guys. Okay, so if you see here it is 30,005, but yeah, it's 30,000 plus value. Okay, it's not like my 30,000 less than that. Okay, now we will come from scenario 3. Okay, another 10 minutes, please be with me. Please guys, don't go anywhere. If you are watching in TV, watch very carefully. If you are watching in phone, please watch in a very good way, so that you guys understand this concept, and this is an important concept for you all to understand. Okay, now scenario 1, I am here, I told you what is NodePort. Okay, and this is my worker node, and worker node has how many pods? 1 pod. And how many service? I have told you every pod has a service behind which redirects the traffic to the actual application. Now this is a worker node, and this worker node has a node port, and you saw in the previous slide, okay, which I will be telling here, don't worry. This is the node port, this is the port, and this is the target port, right? So if you see node port, what it is doing actually, it is the actual entry point in the worker node. Okay, getting right? So this node port is actually the entry point of the worker node. So here it is entered, and then it hits the service, and inside the service we have the routing, where we are telling, okay, you go to the 8080 port or 8800 port, and then we go here. Everyone got it? This scenario 3, you got it all? Yes, no? Yes, no? Yeah? Prabhat is telling port is meant for service, target port is meant for pod, and what is that other? Yes, from the diagram you are telling, right? Yes, correct. Each pod has multiple services? No. Each pod has one pod, one service, multiple pods. Okay, you understood? Service to pod mapping can be done one service to one pod, one service to multiple pods, but not multiple pods one service. It's not vice versa. Okay, great. Now let's come here and see. Okay, and before going to scenario 2, I would request you all that after the session is completed, right, because in live chat people doesn't know that what is the data I am providing, right? So after the live session is completed, after the stream is completed, when I am making the content as live to everyone, just comment it in the chat, in the comment section of the video, whether you found useful, whether you found a little bit useful, or you found nothing, it's a useless, right? So any comment I will take wholeheartedly and I will make it improvise in the next session. Only one disclaimer, right? Project, I will make it at the end. So no questions on project. I am telling continuously to the people. So please, one request, after the stream is completed, like the video, right? I don't know like how many likes have been given for this video. I'll just check. Okay, 158 likes. Guys, please make it 200 na? Every time I make sure I have the 200 likes. Okay, but that's okay, it's up to you. If you are liking the content, then only you will give, right? So 150 plus people are watching. So 2 things from your end. One is like the video, and after the stream is completed, you guys can comment down whether you found useful, and you can share it with your friends and tag some of your friends on the comments stating it was good or something. Okay, so that help only I am needing, and the content slides I will give it to you guys, don't worry. Okay, 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 great. Now I'll be back here. And guys, one important thing just to tell you in a FYI, next session will be a little bit of practical session, right, where everyone should have their laptop, right, with you. So make sure you have laptop. We'll do a little bit hands-on, not into a complex one, okay, where I'll be sharing some piece of code and you will be executing. Okay, all are with me, right? For the next session, all are with me, right? So for the next session, I'll be making the content and all those things from tomorrow, Sunday, right? Posters and all Sunday we'll do, and yeah, whatever the machine you have, just we'll do 1 or 2 hands-on, not more than that. Okay, I will tell you the scenarios and we'll do. Okay, I will not do the hands-on, I will help you to do that. Okay, you it's up to you. If you want to do a hands-on, it's up to you, or else if you want to do later, it's up to you guys. Okay. Oh, okay. I cannot zoom also this slide because I cannot do, but okay, if you are not able to see the scenario 2, that's completely fine. Okay, that's completely okay. Now one more thing, as we will be doing the next session a little bit of hands-on, so one request from you all is that please let other people know that we are doing a shell scripting concept, which will be very helpful, because you all know for the companies like Citrix, SAP, Amazon, Uber, these companies needs practical hands-on knowledge, right, for coding. So we'll be doing a shell scripting live coding. Okay, hope 157 people are watching, and let's go ahead now. Please, after the live stream, comment below at least 15-20 comments. That should be good. Okay, you people are watching 150 plus people. If 15-20 comments also, that should be good. After the stream, after some half an hour, when the stream is uploaded, right, to everyone, then you can comment it. Okay, I hope you will do it. I am expecting. Okay, please. Right, now we'll go to the slide, right, and at the end we will discuss some of the interview questions on the Kubernetes also. Okay, so now you see this is a kind in the slide, and the API version we have given, and metadata and spec. Okay, what is spec? Basically spec is nothing but specifications we have seen, and what I am selecting is NodePort. Okay, so for this application, right, for this application echo host name, right, this is my application. spec what I'm giving, type NodePort. So NodePort is what value? You see NodePort, okay? And you see selector, which app I need to host this, okay? Okay, yes, you are able to understand. NodePort value, you see, it can be anything above 30,000 guys, okay? So 30,163, port is nothing but a service port, and target port is nothing but a target port, pod port, okay? So for the kind as a service, you guys have to do this, okay? Understood? Yes, shell scripting session will be coming on next Saturday on July, I think 9th, or I think 9th. Yes, today is 7th, so I think 9th we will have next Saturday, okay? Next Saturday we will have the next session. So I think I'll just note it down. Next Saturday we will be having the live, okay? Next Saturday live is there, and I will repeat again to the 170 people, those who are watching. Monday I will release the poster for every session. Wednesday I will send emails to 2500 registered people. Thursday I will come live on Instagram to answer your queries. Saturday we are having the live session. So from the past 4 weeks I am following this. Even though I was 1 week in Bangalore, I still followed the same. So I request you all to be with me for the next sessions also. Great, right? Yes, Prajesh, I completely understand, and I don't want to bore you guys also. Yes, too many requests to like, share, because see, at the end what I need, I am actually telling you guys, right? It's my responsibility to tell you guys, right? And what is your responsibility, guys? Your responsibility is to actually grasp the data and achieve the success results. Even I need to do the same, right? So now, yes, great, let's go ahead. We have seen what needs to be done, and now we are at scenario 1, right? So in the first scenario, it is a practical scenario, guys. So now let's take the customers, okay? So now we are at customers and we are using Azure Kubernetes service, okay? Azure Kubernetes service we are seeing, right? And in the Azure Kubernetes service, there is something called our application has deployed, and our application has, this is a scenario I'm telling, our application has front end and both back end, okay? Now imagine Azure Kubernetes service, this port is 31,000, customers are hitting this, there will be some load balancer at the front end, right? So don't worry about the load balancer. Now from the Azure Kubernetes service, this is the port, okay? Node port. So node port was 31,000, okay? 31,000 for the node port, and the target port is 80, guys, okay? So node port was 31,000, target port is 80,000, okay? Now imagine 3 scales are there, like one application, 3 replicas, okay? And each replica is 80, 80, 80. Now that node port or this particular service, this is a service, this is a service, is actually helping us to redirect the traffic to each of the ends. And the other service, what I have told you guys, other service was cluster IP, right? So how many service we have, guys? We have 4 types of service. First service is NodePort, second service is cluster IP, third service is external name, fourth service is load balancer, right? All are with me, right? So we have 4 services and we are using 2 types of service here. First is NodePort and second is cluster IP. And why this cluster IP is because to talk the front end application with the back end. I told you front end is deployed in one worker node, back end is deployed in one worker node. To connect them, we are having the cluster IP, right? All are with me, able to understand? Able to understand? Yes, no? Yes, no, guys? Yes? Why we are not having load balancing here? Okay, no, there is nothing a reason. I have put only for the NodePort and cluster IP data. Yes. Now, what happens if you have the ingress controller? Guys, tell me where the ingress controller will come here. Okay, in this picture, tell me where ingress controller will come or load balancer will come. Can anyone tell? Can anyone tell me? Meanwhile, I'll just repeat from starting. So if you see, NodePort is something for the entire worker node or the cluster. Service has a port and pod has a target port. Okay, right? Now what happens when your application actually is hitting, you see the arrow, just we need to follow the arrow. First it will hit the node port, then the service, then the pod. Okay, got it? Now here this is the configuration file for the service, where it was like kind service API version v1 metadata. This is the application name for which the node port has to get attached. So when we tell metadata or the selector, sorry, metadata is the name of this particular pod, right? But what is selector? Selector is nothing but we are telling that this pod is getting attached to this. Okay, and you see ports, right? First is node port, second is port, third is target port. Target port was pod, this port is service, and node port is the actual port, right? Okay, in place, so many people have told on backend server, on load balancer. Okay, now I will tell you, this is AKS node, right? In front of node port we will have the ingress controller load balancer. Okay, I hope you guys are with me, right? I got mostly here and there like mix and match answers. People are telling like we all are actually architects. Okay, now we are designing the application and you are telling like we will keep the load balancer here, we'll keep the load balancer there, we'll keep the load balancer here, ingress there. Okay, so actually ingress comes inside our application, where under our AKS node. Okay, so inside only. Okay, yes, that's what, both cluster IP and node port, the ingress will be coming outside, right? So I hope I'm making it sense. Yes, Premlata is yes, Naveen is yes. Okay, great. So now all are clear with this slide. We are at 5:30. We will complete this session soon. I have Kubernetes questions for you all coming in the next slide. So if you all say yes to me, we will go to the next session, next slide. Okay, yes, yes, okay, great. Now we are at Kubernetes command, and these commands are very much helpful for you all to create the pods. So imagine the my nginx YAML file was there, guys. Yes, my nginx YAML file for there, and you guys have asked me what is kubectl, what actually it does. So I have told you kubectl is nothing but which will actually help the Kubernetes to listen that some request is coming, and you see create, get, describe, exec. The second keyword after the kubectl will actually tell the Kubernetes what needs to be done exactly. Getting? Right? So now see, kubectl create, it means I am asking my Kubernetes to create a pod or a YAML file for me. Okay, so now this is for creating a YAML file where I am telling the deploy as a service, right? Deploy as a kind, and what is the image, guys? Image is nginx, and this data will coming to here. Now if I tell kubectl get pods, let's take an imaginary circle is here, and in this imaginary circles there are two imaginary circles. If I tell kubectl get pods, now what will happen? Those two data of the pods will come here. If I tell kubectl get namespace, namespace is an imaginary space given to each application. Okay, so that when pod is getting deployed in Kubernetes, that is getting deployed into the namespace in an imaginary space, right? So if I have a nginx file, if I have a configuration file, how to create a pod, guys? You see the command fifth, kubectl create -f. It means I am pointing to a YAML file and I create a file, right? Create a pod from the file. Got it? Yes? Yes, great. All the pods, no, log will not come. All the pod details will come, like how much the pod, what is the pod name, pod ID, right? When it was created, who has created, all those data it will come. Okay. Now, describe will give you the entire in-depth details of the pod, like load balancer, ingress controller data, all those things it will give, right? Service endpoints, what else? Like routing endpoints, all those things it will give. And in order to go inside the pod, we give the command kubectl exec-interactive mode. Last time we have seen the Docker commands. Similarly, we are having the Kubernetes commands. Okay. Yes, all the pods which are there in the circle will be given as the data to the second command. Okay, great. exec kubectl exec -it pod 1. Let's take pod 1 is our pod which has been created, and bash is nothing but the interactive terminal or the bash which we actually tell kubectl command to go as a bash value. Okay. Yes, great. 𝐄𝐚𝐫𝐿, Docker inspect and Kubernetes describe is same. Correct. Great. So that's how the people should interact with the sessions. I'm liking it, right? So you guys are actually trying to integrate what was the last session and what is the today's session, right? So that's really great. Okay, for a particular pod log, you can give the command kubectl log -f the pod ID. Okay, that will give you the pod log. What is interactive? IT is interactive, terminal kind of interactive. Okay, great. Now we are at end of the session. Okay, and I want everyone to focus for the next 5 minutes with me. Okay, we are at 5:35, right? And let's go quickly on the Kubernetes interview questions, which these are the questions which have been asked to me in various okay. Create NS is for namespace. For creating a namespace, we give kubectl create NS. Sorry, I forgot that to tell. Now, okay, we are at Kubernetes interview questions, and these are the questions which have been asked for me in Amazon, in SAP, in Citrix, in Nagarro. All the questions I have consolidated. I have kept some important questions, not everything. Even in my interview question series part 1 and part 2, if you have seen, I have shared the document, but I wanted to discuss a little bit of depth questions here. Okay, so now, what is architecture of the Kubernetes? I have already explained, right? What does control manager, etcd, scheduler, API server do? I have explained. Yes. What is a manifest file? What are the components of it? I have explained. And the people will ask you to actually screen share and write the manifest file for your application, right? Yes. What is a NodePort and cluster IP? I have told you. Persistent volumes? Yes, I have not told this. Persistence volumes are something. Let's take this as a pod. Okay. Now this pod is died now. Now what will happen? The entire pod data will also get lost if we don't have the persistent volume attached to it, right? So why we create a persistent volume is in order to make sure our data is not lost even though pod is died. If the pod is died, the persistent volume will be retaining same, and we can attach this persistent volume to the next pod. Okay, now I hope you have got it. Describe what is pod and what is pod lifecycle. Yes, in the last session you have seen the Docker lifecycle. Similarly, there is a pod lifecycle. Okay, what is a pod? I have told you pod is a least component or the smallest component of the Kubernetes where all the applications get reside. It's a container, right? This what are the components on the master node and worker node? This I have told you. What is ingress controller? Yes, ingress controller is nothing but the actually load balancer which will route the application traffic to the particular applications based on the routing path, context, ports, and all those things. Okay. Got it? Yes. What else I have? 10th, what are the types of services in Kubernetes? This we have discussed. There are 4 types of Kubernetes services. One is load balancer, one is external name, one is cluster IP, one is NodePort. How one pod talks with other? Yes, we have seen, right? One pod talks with other with the help of the service or else with the help of the cluster IP, right? Inside the pods it will talk. And also selector, right? I have told you selector, which will actually help this pod to know that okay, you have to talk with this selector. Okay, selector is selecting that. How the pod health check is done, guys? Very much important. Pod health check, right? Pod health check, it is readiness probe and liveness probe. Okay, and what are these 2 probes? These 2 probes, every person needs a health check, right? In the same way, when the pod is deployed in the Kubernetes, right, these health checks will always probe to the pod and it will tell to the Kubernetes that okay, this application is working fine. If let's take this application is dead, okay, and this probes will actually tell to the Kubernetes that this application is not responding, and they will send the alerts, and they will do some additional things on top of that to bring the application up, right? So how is monitoring done? Question number 13, I have a separate session for you guys where we will talk only about Prometheus, Grafana and MySQL database. Okay, so be with me for the next coming up sessions. All the next sessions will be a little bit of important ones, right? And I hope you all will be with me. Daemon set, replica set, horizontal and pod autoscaler. Yes, daemon set, I will be telling you guys, right? Daemon set is nothing but when I'm choosing the kind as daemon set, it means whenever there is a new node or new worker node is created, right? New worker node is created, automatically some default pods has to be installed in that, right? Agreeing with me? Yes, no, tell me, I will repeat again. If you want me to repeat it, just type daemon set. Okay, I will repeat it. Okay, I will repeat again anyways. Daemon set is nothing but if I select the kind as daemon set, now what happens is this kind daemon set will actually defaultly get applied to all the pods, and these pods, right, which are actually present in the daemon set will be defaultly scaled up, brought up in the new node when new node is created. Okay, yes, great. Replica set, I have already told you, right? We are using kind as deployment. In kind daemon set, when we are using kind as daemon set, what is happening? When a new node is created, this new node has to have some pods, default pods, right? So those are created through daemon set. Replica set, when one pod needs to have 3 replicas, then we will have daemon set. HPA, horizontal pod autoscaler, this is nothing but for scaling the pods horizontally, right? I hope you are getting it. Write a manifest file of your own choice. Yes, we have seen the manifest files. Yes, we have seen that, right? What are the different types of manifest files, how to use that, what are the components of the manifest file, what is a namespace and why we use it. Yes, I have told you again. I will tell you again in a clear picture. This is the cluster. Okay, this is the cluster. Okay, under the cluster there is a imaginary namespace, and this namespace will have your pod will have your container will have your application. And why namespace is created is in order to group the things, group the similar applications. Let's take 150 people are here, and now we are divided into 3 groups of 50, 50, 50. Now I want to have a dev namespace, so I will create with the command like kubectl create ns dev, kubectl create ns devops, kubectl ns create test. So we have 3 groups, 3 namespaces, one is dev, one is devops, one is test. So 50 applications I will deploy here, 50 applications I will send here, 50 applications I will send here. It means on a holistic view, right, we are actually placing or grouping the similar kind of applications under one region, one namespace. Okay, now what are Helm charts and uses? This is entirely a big topic, but I will tell you in a smaller way. Helm charts are nothing but these are helpful in automating the tasks. Let's take, you have one application and you have to quickly scale up the application, or you have to quickly deploy that application. So what we do, we create the Helm charts for that, and we quickly, within fraction of seconds, we use the Helm charts and we automate it. So I would request you all, this slide is very much important for you all. Just check the slides and make sure you are getting the best out of it. Okay, got it? So with that said, I am ending my session, right? When will be the next session? Okay, I will type here, next session is on JuLY, next Saturday, next session on next Saturday, right? So please do join next session on next Saturday. I will take some of you questions, right? Then we can wind up the class for today, right? I enjoyed the class. It was really good. 147 people are there. Again, I will tell at the end, right? Those who don't know me, right? This is Praveen here. I am DevOps engineer at one of the world's largest retail organization, right? And I am active on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and not Twitter. Twitter I am learning basically. I'm active on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Telegram. So anyways, you can check out my names there. For those who don't know me, LinkedIn will be the best platform. For those who want to connect one-to-one with me, in LinkedIn, in the profile features list, down to that in my jobs profile, you will get a top mate link. Go ahead and check out that link. You can have one-to-one session with me. So LinkedIn, my name will be Praveen Singampalli. For Instagram, it will be Singham for DevOps. For Twitter, it will be Singham for DevOps. For Telegram, it will be Singham for DevOps. Okay. No, Glory, I am not going to do any other sessions on Jenkins. It's completed, guys. Okay. So next session will be on shell scripting. We will do a hands-on. I'll be releasing the posters and all those things. 150 people are here. So definitely check out those things. In YouTube, I cannot take you all live. So that is the reason I'm just doing things. Okay. A couple of times and get good understanding. Great. Praveen, what happened when you opened fridge in Walmart office, the video? Correct. This, I thought someone will comment this. Okay. Arvind, at that time my manager came, okay, and I had to stop the video. Okay, so that is the reason that was half video. And I just laughed out in front of my manager. So, and he didn't told anything, but it's our courtesy to not shoot in the office. So I just stopped it. Okay. But in the next, when I'm going Bangalore back in August, so at that time I will shoot the office with the permission, and I will take, I mean, it was first vlog, right? Holding the phone like this, shooting in the airport, it was really difficult and I was little hesitant also. But yeah, that was a 4 minutes vlog, which I tried to do as the other YouTubers. Not sure how it came, but yeah, that was all I can do. But next vlog, I will definitely do good. Okay, shall we say ingress controller is sorting? Yes, Sarvanan, yes, you can tell that. Very useful session. Please continue the class for further. Yes, Premlata. Yes, definitely. Next session will be a bang on, and you all will definitely get some add-ons for your resume. This I am writing in this class. Okay, I am writing on a imaginary paper here. You will get some good highlights in the next class. Okay, so definitely join the next class on next Saturday, coming Saturday. Okay. Yesterday I attended for Walmart interview. Okay, Raghu, what happened? This is great. I would like to know what happened, Raghu. Yes, yes, Mohan. Yes. Is this course for beginner? I am a fresher. Hemant, this course is for everyone, right? Yes, Narendra, all the sessions are available in the YouTube. Definitely check out that session. All the sessions will have posters as session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4. So go ahead and check out that. Definitely. Very useful. Thank you, Arshad. Yes, you are one of the true supporter, bhai. Really appreciate your efforts. Oh, waiting. Great. Raghu, after you get the result, just comment on any video. Just comment that you got selected or what happened, because I would really love to know about you. Okay. Can I get guidance? Aniruddha, for one-to-one guidance, you can check out my LinkedIn profile and you can book a session there in TopMate, right? Thanks for spending your weekends. Yes, this is really exhausting, but yeah, at the end, my motto is to make at least some impact in the YouTube, right? If I install Minikube in my Ubuntu host and it is creating my VM, means master node in the physical host? No, everything will be in the Ubuntu host only, GOPS. Okay. Radhika is telling thank you. Hemant, thank you. Looking forward for your videos. Followed you on LinkedIn as well. Yes, Hemant, thanks a lot. And guys, check out the LinkedIn profile features list. My students have bagged top organizations with 300% hike. I'm not telling lies. You can check out those things. Okay, go ahead and check out that. So we will be mostly deploying microservice in Glade cluster. So how easy microservice will communicate with it? Okay. The things you have seen in the video, right? Those are enough for you all to actually work. Okay. This one-to-one session. Okay. Yes. Arvind, it's a good question again. Yes, you can check out that. If you found useful, you can book it. Yes. Presently, that is why I don't keep anywhere that link. Okay, just check out that. If you find useful, just go ahead and book that. And almost, I think 100 plus sessions have been completed. 200 plus sessions I have done for free in that link. 300% hike. Yes, I will take that person also in my YouTube channel. We'll discuss about him. But as of now, I am not having any plans to call him on my channel, but definitely I have. Okay, thanks Praveen bro for your session. EKS is also the same. Oh my god, yes. How many years of experience I will show after taking your lecture? QTOps moment, I want your actual name first. Okay, I want your actual name because it really sounds, it makes me curious, like to know who are you. Okay, Sarvanan is telling, I am quitting my job and coming to India and I am already learning. Shall I have a meet with you? Yes, Sarvanan, yes, definitely. In Bangalore, we can meet next month if you are coming in Bangalore and staying in Bangalore. Definitely meet. Freshers can also get job offer learning all. Yes, Abhijit, freshers can also get because you guys are actually going to work in different organizations. But the thing is, you guys need to put some little effort, right? What else the questions I have? Okay. Any other questions, guys? How many years of experience I will show? Okay, QTOps moments. How many years of experience? That's what I'm telling. I cannot tell how many years of experience, but definitely I can tell you a range. This is for 2+ years of experience. Either 1+ can go ahead and put these things, but you need to be really good at that, right? So I don't know how much learn DevOps. Sai Krishna, no worries. It will definitely help you. My sessions will help you. Guys, next session, please do join. Okay, so few things before I tell again. So one thing, after the video gets live streamed, comment, okay, comment on that video so that other people know about the data what I am presenting and the trust. Okay, so first thing, please comment it. I think this video will be live in another 30-40 minutes, so you guys can comment. If you like the video, please like it. If you have not liked it, don't worry, no worries about that. But yeah, comment is important because other people will get trust from the comments you put in. Okay, so that's what. Okay, and next thing is, share with some of your friends the channel link so that other people get benefited with the bootcamp. And next session we are doing a live hands-on, right? So please be ready with some data, some content. Okay, and definitely we will bang on the next sessions. And please help your friends to grow also. We all are friends, guys, now. Okay, we all are a community of DevOps engineers. In Telegram, you guys are not talking at all. Okay, Singham for DevOps group is there, discussion group is there. You guys are not talking. Only a few people are talking, right? Share documents there. Come forward and teach others. If you are very much knowledgeable, teach others, right? And we will definitely do a session on ChatOps. I will show you how in DevOps the automation with the bots can be done. Sounds interesting, right? Right? Yes. And please do subscribe my channel if you have not done. Hit the bell notification icon, guys, because what happens is if you are not doing that, then definitely you will miss some of the videos, right? And please share the channel link with your friends. Put it in WhatsApp group, at least 5 people, if you can get me a subscriber, right? I'm putting so much efforts. It's like sweat coming out, right? Okay, I'll take some questions now. Okay. Yes, you can show us 3+ years of experience. It's up to you. Deepak, at the end, the project is there. We will check out that projects. Okay, don't worry about that. Yes, Docker is there in that project. Kubernetes installation is there at my end of the bootcamp course, so don't worry about that. Okay, yes, you can get it, Sayed. Yes. Telegram channel is not open for anyone to post. No, guys, Telegram channel. Okay, I will give you. Check out the channel Singham for DevOps discussion. Okay, discussion. If you search that, that is open for everyone, right? And that will be sufficient for you all. Any WhatsApp groups? Narendra, I had 2 WhatsApp groups. That is only for the people for whom I have actually taken classes on LinkedIn, but now I have Telegram groups. But yeah, plan is to move them to Telegram as well. Okay, Raghu, that's great. I am now in my hometown. Next month I'll be traveling to Bangalore again. We'll meet, okay? We'll try to meet. Is there any future session on Istio? Ajit, this is a good question. No, there will be no future session, but yeah, after the bootcamp, maybe we can take continuing the sessions, right? How many? Guys, those who are asking for the salaries, I have made a dedicated video for you all, which my students have told me, okay, right? So my students have given the feedback on the 2022 packages. So go ahead and check out that, guys, okay? Where you will find like what is the DevOps engineer salaries 2022 for both product-based organization, for service-based organization. I've given both the data there with the document. Check out that, you will get everything, guys, okay? All your questions will be vanished with that video, I am telling you, okay? So Aniruddha, just check that video, and Syed, you can also check that video. Sai Krishna, except this session, all are real-time scenarios. I wanted you all to start with Kubernetes. My plan is to have Kubernetes session 2 also, but I am not sure will I be, that is not there in the part of bootcamp, but other sessions are real-time. And the next session is 100% real-time, okay? So definitely join that and check out the, because you are new here, Sai Krishna, I am telling, CICD session 1, 2, 3, Docker 3, all are real-time scenarios. So definitely check out that, okay? What a DevOps level 3 do and how is different from level 2 and level 4? Need to know the job role difference. Infobox, see, every organization has different roles, okay? So we cannot tell like what a job role 2 does and what a job role 4 does. Job role 4 always leads the team. Job role 2 tries to enhance the functionalities of the team. Job role 3 tries to bridge the gap between job role 2 and job role 4, okay? Everyone should work by the way. Sarvanan, it's a little bit difficult, but yeah, unless we get the entire details of your career, I cannot comment on your question. Yes, Manda, yes, you are correct. Do DevOps operate AWS infrastructure? Yes, DevOps operates everything, okay? Yes, I hope you guys have filled the attendance sheet, right? So I will request you all again to fill the attendance sheet, right? So no more questions. I see no more questions coming in for me. With that said, I hope I have made all your day clear, crystal clear. We will be working on Azure. Okay, Rajiv, Azure DevOps as well. Just yesterday I had completed my AZ900 certification. 104. Yes, Rajiv, go ahead and grab the opportunities. AZ Azure, definitely try for Microsoft organization. You know, right? Microsoft is really good. Can anyone send Telegram link? Guys, okay, no one has sent the Telegram link till now. Okay, what I will do now for you all, I will put all the links in the comment section as a pin, the comment section, okay? So check out the links from there, okay? Okay, great session. Amarnath, yes. I need to take how many years I can keep as working in DevOps. Tejas, I actually tell like 7-3, okay? 3 years into DevOps, 7 years into other field, all right? These levels does not make any sense. Yes, mostly Infobox, yes. Yes. Is this the first video of your course? No, Hemant, I've already completed 3 videos. You can check out on my channel. Every video poster will have the session date, session topic, and you can check out that. Session 1, session 2, session 3, and this was session 4, okay? No, Arvind, Kubernetes is not fully completed. I will take one more session after the bootcamp, but this was just an introduction because in the project we'll be doing a Kubernetes, okay? So that's the reason. Okay, with that said, we are at 6 p.m. guys, okay? Almost 5:55. And still 121 people are watching. That's really great to know, right? Okay. With that said, I'll be taking leave for today's session. You all know what you need to do from your end. I am done from my part, right? So again, I don't want to repeat. I know you all will support me definitely, and our channel will grow in big, right? So I will tell why I have started my channel in 2 minutes. People with whom I have went and asked for help, right? So no one has helped me, right? And with my ability to work hard and with my ability to learn, I learned all the things and gave interviews, right? So I don't want anyone of my viewer, my subscriber to be in that position, and that's why this 2 months bootcamp. You all know outside people how much they charge for the bootcamp, right? And how much their content is, right? And I hope you give the same respect to me which I am giving to you all. I love you all. I will support you all. If any questions, queries, please ping in any of the video comment section. I'll definitely respond. LinkedIn, a little bit of difficulties there to me respond. Instagram, yes. But yeah, definitely we will rock this bootcamp, and already we are seeing the success results. In Instagram, Singham for DevOps, you can check out. I have posted the success results there, testimonials there. People from other countries are responding me with the positive vibes. So I hope you all will get the same positive vibes from my end, right? So with that said, this is Praveen signing off. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and do join the next live session in next coming Saturday, and follow me everywhere so that you are updated with the bootcamp content. And after this live is released, comment on the video if you like the video, and definitely I'll be bringing such sessions for you all. Signing off with a great session time with you all, and let's meet in another session. With that said, bye, take care, and see you.